we are going to study the Poisson bracket and its connection to the canonical transformation, which we have discussed in our previous class. So let us take two functions f and g, which are the functions of the generalized coordinates and momentum p and q. The Poisson bracket is defined by this formula, equation number 25, and such Poisson brackets have the following identities, such as, let us take f as qj and g as qk. Here you can see that the sum goes over the I, where I is equal to 1 to n, where n is the number of degree of freedom of the system. So here qj and qk, j and q are also that is 1 to n, and if you put qj in place of f and qk in place of g, then this formula will be reduced as this, and see del qk del pi, it will be 0, and del qj del pi also be 0, because generalized coordinates and momentums are independent to each other in the Hamiltonian formulation. So those two terms are 0, so the whole Poisson bracket will be 0. And here you can see there is a what should I say, the subscript q comma p is there to remember you, to make you remember that the derivatives are all with respect to the old generalized coordinates and momentum. So let us take another example. Pj pk Poisson bracket will be 0 for the same reason, because the term del pj del qi is 0, del pj del pk and del qi is also 0, so the whole term is 0. But consider this one, this is very important, qj comma pk, that is the generalized coordinate and generalized momentum Poisson bracket will give you Kronecker delta, delta jk. So if q and p are the same, that is q1 comma p1, then it will give you 1, but when q1 comma p2 you are seeking of, then it will give you a 0. How to prove that? Use the formula, and you can see there, you can see here the first term. First consider the second term, del qj del pi 0, del pk del qi also 0, but first term del qj del qi and del pk del pi, so the derivative will give you 1 when j and k are equal, or and k and I are equal, and otherwise it will give you a 0. So it is a Kronecker delta first term, and second term is a different Kronecker delta. First Kronecker delta is delta ji, and second Kronecker delta is delta ki. So it is written here. So the product of two Kronecker deltas are there, delta ij into delta ik. So same index will cancel each other. It is the formula of Kronecker delta, and it can be realized in practice also. So delta, you can think very easily that if those two indices appear, two same indices appear into two different Kronecker delta, then it has to be, it is no more free coordinates, free index. So you should omit that, and delta will delta ij into delta ik will be equal to delta jk. So the result is delta jk. Now what we get, qj comma pk Poisson bracket is equal to delta jk. These are the properties of the generalized momentum and coordinates under the Poisson bracket formula. Poisson bracket is a mathematical thing for you up to this point, but we will discuss at the end of the class that what is the physical significance of this bracket, what is the need of taking this bracket. I will discuss it in later. Now let us consider the Poisson bracket of any functions. Let us take three functions, f, g, s. f, g, s all are the functions of q, p and t. So they have some very interesting properties, that is f comma f, that is a similar kind of function under a Poisson bracket will give you 0. This can be proved very easily. Two terms are equal, it will be cut down to 0. F comma c, c is a constant, then surely there is no derivative of a constant with respect to the generalized momentum, or coordinates will be there, so the terms will be 0 and the result will be 0. F comma g is equal to minus of g comma f. You can reverse the thing, you can prove this very easily. It is proven here. Now the distributive law will follow. It will be very easily done. You can do it by your own very easily. And the distributive law again, that is distributive, this is commutative. And f comma gs is equal to f comma g into s plus g into f comma s. This is just like backcab rule in vector cross product formula, and here you can see s is written at the right hand side and g is written in the left hand side. The order is not has been changed, that is in the Poisson bracket it is gs not sg, so g always will be in the left hand side than s. But here, as a matter of fact, it is a function, just a scalar. You can write g anywhere in the left hand side or the right hand side, but you should keep in your mind that this has a very important role in quantum mechanics, where the functions can be represented by an operator. So there the order of the g is very important. So keeping in this mind, we have written here in the preference order, but in case of a scalar function, you can, as I have told, that you can put the g after s. It is understood. Not after s means not within the bracket, outside the bracket you can write. So it is proved here. You can just proceed some derivatives, basic derivative formula, and grouping them to make some Poisson bracket, and it will follow the formula. But the sixth identity is very much important, which is called Jacobi identity, and it has some cyclic rule to follow, that is f comma gs. It is a Poisson bracket of f and Poisson bracket of gs. So similarly, this is g comma sf Poisson bracket, this is s comma fg Poisson bracket, and following the cyclic rule, using this formula you can put it. First break down this gs and then use this formula f comma gs to each of the terms. For first Poisson bracket, second Poisson bracket, and third Poisson bracket, it will generate 4 terms each, but Poisson bracket has the reverse or irreversible, that is f comma g is equal to minus of g comma f actually. So you use the third identity and the fifth identity, you will get the result 0, and it should be remembered, it should be used in our latter half of my lecture. And this is the derivative rule, which is again distributive. It is proved here also. You can prove very easily. I am not going into this. Now the equation of motion regarding the Poisson bracket. Equation of motion, we have already done this, but not using the Poisson bracket. If, let us suppose f is a function of q, p and t, so df dt, total time derivative, will be written by chain rule, del f del qi into qi dot plus del f del pi into pi dot plus del f del t. Here the sum is there, so there are 2n terms and these are single terms, so 2n plus 1 terms there. And if you put qi dot, and if you use Hamilton's equation of motion, that is canonical equation of motions, you put qi dot is equal to del h del pi, and pi dot is equal to minus del h del qi, where h is the Hamiltonian function of the system. So it will assume this form, and here you can see this is nothing but a Poisson bracket between f and h. So f and h plus del f del t is there. If f is such a function that time doesn't appear explicitly, then the term del f del t will be 0, so df dt is equal to f comma h, and again f is a constant of motion. Say for example, for the central field, the central field angular momentum is conserved, that is, it is not a function of time. So df dt, if f is a angular momentum, then df dt is equal to 0, which means f comma h is equal to 0, which again signifies the power of the Poisson bracket. If one tells you that whether angular momentum is conserved or not, you can check just the Poisson bracket f comma h. If it gets the value of 0, then df dt will also be 0, so f is equal to constant. You can check whether the function f is a constant of motion or not by using the Poisson bracket, provided that quantity doesn't contain the time explicitly into their functional form. And another interesting features will be there, that is q. What is qi dot? If you put qj, say qj in place of f, so this will be dqj dt, that means qj dot, and this will be qj comma h plus del qj del t, and qj and pj are not a function of time explicitly, so this term will be 0. So the form of 26 equation will be qj dot is equal to qj comma h and pj dot is equal to pj comma h. So these are the new forms of Hamiltonian equation of motion, or Hamiltonian canonical equations, which we know that qj dot is equal to del h del p and pj dot is equal to minus del h del q. In place of those, you can write the equations in terms of Poisson bracket. So these are the mathematical things regarding the Poisson bracket. Another thing, Poisson bracket and integrals of motion. What is integrals of motion? I have told you that conserved quantities, so these are called integrals of motion. If for f to be an integral of motion, this is another term, integral of motion, except conserved, you can say integral of motion, the meaning is the same. So if integral of motion is a function of f, so by definition df dt is equal to 0, that is conserved of motion, conserved quantity, and it will follow that f comma j is equal to minus del f del t. And if f doesn't contain the time explicitly, then f comma h is equal to 0, what I have told in the previous section. Now you can prove one interesting thing, that if f and g are two integrals of motion, that is df dt is 0 and dj dt also 0, you can prove that their Poisson bracket f comma g is also integral of motion, that is ddt of f comma j is also 0, that means f comma g is equal to constant. Okay, let us prove this. First use those formula, del f del t is equal to minus of f comma h, and here also for g. Let us start from the thing ddt of f comma g Poisson bracket. So it will give you this, using the Hamilton's equation of motion, you can write f comma g comma h in the Poisson bracket plus del of f comma g del t. What we have used? We have simply used this formula, df dt is equal to f comma h plus del f del t. In place of h, we have placed the Poisson bracket of f comma g. So the thing is very much simple. That formula has been used here. Now the derivative will give you two terms, one derivative of f keeping g constant, another derivative of g with respect keeping f constant. This will give you two terms. Now again proceeding, del f del t. In place of del f del t, you can put what you can put, minus f comma h. So is equal to h comma f you can write, because if you reverse the order of Poisson bracket, this will give you minus. So minus minus plus. So is equal to, one can write h comma f also, del f del t in place of del f del t. Similarly, in place of del g del t, one can write Poisson bracket over h comma j, h comma g. So these are things have been written there. And now this is just cyclic rule. What I have told you, the Jacobi identity, the identity number 6. Let us check once again. The identity number, yes, 6. Here the cyclic rule follows of three functions of generalized coordinates f g s plus g s f s plus s f g will be 0. So let us come to this point. Here f comma gh, f comma fg, g comma hf, so whole result will be 0. So d dt of f comma g is 0 and f comma g, the Poisson bracket will be 0. That means f comma g is a function, is a new function which is again another integral of motion, that is constant of motion. F and g are independently constants of motion, and f comma g is also a constant of motion. This is a very important proof. This will appear in exam frequently. Now the next and last question of Poisson bracket. What is the advantage of Poisson bracket? If in the previous class we have discussed about the canonical transformation and find out the rules of canonical transformation and the generating function, and we have seen there that you can say the transformation from the old coordinates qp to new coordinates capital Q to capital Q and capital P will be said as canonical transformation if there exists a exact differential, that is p dqk minus q dpk. Sorry, I have forgotten this. Just go to that formula to show you what I am talking of. This p dqi minus p dqi is equal to, should be an exact function or a perfect differential. Okay, you have to sure that the transformation follows this rule, then you can tell my transformation is a canonical one. And now the question is, if the transformation is canonical, then what is the effect on the Poisson bracket we should see. So that is our point here. So canonical transformations are there. The transformation between the PQ to capital PQ is a canonical, which we have assumed here. So let us start from the Poisson bracket of f and g to different functions in the old coordinate. So it will assume this from del f del qk del g del pk minus del f del pk into del g del qk, the basic formula of Poisson bracket. Let us consider that g is now a function of capital Q and capital P because of this transformation. P and Q are replaced by capital P and capital Q. So g is a function of capital P and capital Q. So one can wish that we are going to I want the del g del pk term in terms of new coordinates. So it will follow the chain rule. G is a function of Q and P. There is a summation method. So Q is not a single Q. There are n number of Q's and n number of P's. So del g del pk will give you del g del qi into del qi del pk plus del g del pi into del pi del pk. Simple chain rule has been followed. Similarly, del g del qk will be evaluated. So equation B and C. Now substitute equation B and C into equation 1. So in place of del g del pk, put this formula. and in place of del G del Qk put the C formula, equation C. This will assume this bigger form, but here you can see some common terms, say del G del Qy is there, and in the latter half also del G del Qy here. So you can take common del G del Qy, and this will give you these quantities, and here also. Now this is nothing but del F del Qk into del Qy del Pk minus del F del Pk into del Qy del Qk. This is nothing but Poisson bracket of F comma Qy, F comma Qy in old coordinates. This is the Poisson bracket with respect to old coordinates of F comma Qy. Similarly, this is the Poisson bracket over F comma Pi. So we have to find these commutator brackets independently and put this formula here. Let us first take QKF. Okay, QKF is needed. QK, let us put QK in place of F, and let us put F in place of G. So QKF is equal to, just put F here and QK here. Okay, so this Poisson bracket will be Qk comma Qy, and this Poisson bracket will be Qk comma Pi. Okay, so Qk comma Qy is 0. We have shown at the very beginning of this lecture that Qk comma Qy Poisson bracket is 0. Yes, we have shown it in the old coordinate system, but in the new coordinate system also it will follow the same thing, and this will give you a 0. See, it is written here Qk comma Qy is 0, and Qk comma Pi is nothing but del of ij. Okay, delta ij, canonical delta I k. Sorry. Let us now put here these formulas. Okay, we have found out these things, and here Qk comma F Poisson bracket will assume the form, it is 0, so left out, this is 0, and this will contribute here, delta Ik is there, so I and k should be equal, so you can write del F del Pi or del F del Pk as you wish. Here Qk comma F is equal to del F del Pk. Okay, and similarly you can revert, you can put I in place of k. That is no harm of this equation, because I, k, j, they are free indices. You can use they as dummy, so Q can be replaced by I as you need, but here the order of within the Poisson bracket is reversed. QIF will be del F del Pi, but F comma Qi will be minus of del F del Pi. It is the property of Poisson bracket. We know that that will be in the similar way we can put that F comma Pi is equal to del F del Qi. You have to prove it by your own, or you can by similarity, by seeing these equations you can estimate, you can similarly write this form of the equation, or for your sake of understanding I should suggest you that you should prove this by similar technique as the technique followed to prove that F comma Qi is equal to minus del F del Pi. So follow the same technique, you will have the same the formula of equation F. And now what we have two formula, F comma Qi commutator bracket, and the second formula is F comma Pi. Now put it in these two equations. Okay, that will give you, and we have started from here F comma G commutator bracket in the old coordinates QP. So this will assume this form del f del qi del g del pi minus del f del pi into del g del qi. Now look at this expression, which is nothing but again a Poisson bracket, but in the new coding system, that is q and p. So this is again Poisson bracket under qp coding system, which is equal to the Poisson bracket under the old coding system small q small p of the same two functions. Okay, that is the property of canonical transformation, that is the Poisson bracket is invariant. Poisson bracket is invariant under the canonical transformation. So if you put q, it is not written here, it should be written here, but just remember from my this lecture and put it in your class notes, that if you put capital Q here in place of F and put capital P in place of G, this will give you 1, but this commutator bracket, so this will be 1, and so one can say that QP, capital Q, capital P, Poisson bracket in the old coordinate system is equal to 1. So this is again the condition for canonical transformation, which can be used in doing the mathematics. I am just coming to that problem, which I am trying to tell you. That is a very interesting connection between Poisson bracket and quantum mechanics. Go through these points, these are very interesting. You have to to understand this topic, you have to have the knowledge of basic quantum mechanics Schrodinger equation and operator, what is called quantum mechanical operator. Every dynamical variables like displacement, momentum, or time, energy, these variables, these dynamical quantities have different operator form in quantum mechanics. This is the basic postulate of quantum mechanics. So, and there also exists a commutator bracket. Okay, so commutator bracket of any two operators A and B is equal to AB minus BA. Here the order is, there is no derivative with respect to any generalized coordinate or momentum, but the order of their operation is very much important. AB is equal to minus BA. It may happen, but when they commute, then it will happen. Otherwise, the AB minus BA is not equal to 0 in general. Okay, so this is a commutator bracket. It is an operator in quantum mechanics. It has a direct resemblance from the Poisson bracket. What is the resemblance? Here it is shown that under the classical Poisson bracket, that is, the Poisson bracket is classical. In classical mechanics, the Poisson bracket will be transformed into the quantum mechanical commutator bracket if you divide the quantum mechanical commutator bracket by IH cut, where I is imaginary quantity and H cut is the reduced Planck constant. Okay, so you can see here a basic flavor of quantum mechanics. You can see that the things are very small because H cut is in the order of 10 to the power minus 34 in SI. So 10 to the power 34 is multiplied to the commutator bracket will give you the Poisson bracket. Okay, so the classical mechanics and the quantum mechanical physics will differ by a huge number of order in computation, that is in the order of 10 to the power minus 34 in case of the transformation of Poisson bracket to the commutator bracket. So a very interesting thing you can see here, if you replace A and B by QK and PJ, the generalized coordinate and momentum, we know that this Poisson bracket is delta Ij, sorry, delta Jk here, because the free indices are J and K. So delta Jk is there. So commutator bracket is equal to IH cut delta Jk. So you can evaluate the commutator bracket from the classical results. So classical result of Poisson bracket will leads you to the very birth stage or the very inception point of the quantum mechanics or quantum mechanical operator physics. Okay, so this is a very salient feature why you have told to study the Poisson bracket. Now the equation of motion, that is Hamiltonian's equation of motion, will assume this form in case of quantum mechanics, where O is an operator in place of F, D, F dt we have written here, so it is d O dt. O is an operator, so del O del T plus the Poisson bracket is replaced by the commutator bracket 1 by h cut into commutator bracket over O and H. H is a Hamiltonian operator here. So in quantum mechanics you will have the scope to study such things in great detail. This is called the quantum mechanical Heisenberg operator equation or Heisenberg equation of motion. There are two pictures in quantum mechanics, Heisenberg and the Schrodinger, where Heisenberg, in the Heisenberg picture the operators are time dependent as you see here, but in the Schrodinger picture the operators doesn't contain the time explicitly. So those things are different, but it is written here for your general study. You can study here. Now we are going to the problem regarding the commutator brackets. First problem: the two transformations are canonical or not. Show that using the Poisson bracket. What we have learned that the Poisson bracket in the of two quantities are just equal in two coordinate system, whether it is small p and small q or whether it is capital P and capital Q. In my last topic I have discussed it. So let us use that formula to prove that this transformation is a canonical one. Now we have the basic formulas: q comma q is equal to 0, p comma p is equal to 0, and now let us transform this in different way, that is tan q can be find out from here, q by p will be result, and p square by squaring and addition the sin square q and cos square q will vanish, so it will give you p square plus q square is equal to 2 capital P. So one can find del q del p from here, del q del small q from here, and del p del q from here, and del p del small p from here. Okay, so four quantities can be find out very simply. Okay, four quantities we have. Now we are moving towards the QP commutator bracket. QP commutator bracket is equal to in the old coordinate. So remember we have studied using the f and g function. Now f and g functions are replaced by q and p. So q and p under the old coordinate small q and small p is equal to del q del p minus del q del p into del p del q. Summation is there. It can be understood that the summation convention has been used, so we omit the summation symbol here, but it should be understood that the summation is there. Summation is not escaping anywhere. So we have find out del q del q del q del p. So four different terms we have find out here, and just put those values, it will give you this, and here q square plus p square. Now let us q square by p square is equal to tan square q, so 1 plus tan square q will give you what, 6 square q. So 6 square q into cos square q will be 1. So the commutator bracket of q and p is equal to 1 means the transformation is canonical, because in old coordinate the Poisson bracket of q and p is equal to 1, and in new coordinate the Poisson bracket of qp over capital P capital Q should be 1. Okay, this term is 1, this term is 0, so those two Poisson brackets are equal, and by the definition of canonical transformation, the said aforementioned transformation, this transformation is canonical one. Let us now evaluate the Poisson bracket of Lx and Ly. Lx and Ly are the two components of angular momentum. What is the value of Lx and Ly? Lx is equal to ypz minus zpy, Ly is zpx, that is r cross p. Just write down the determinant and equating the components, you can write these three formula of Lx, Ly and Lz angular momentums. Now let us start from here. Lx comma Ly, this quantity, this function comma this function, Poisson bracket you have to find out. So using distributive law you have this, and then each commutator brackets will be evaluated at each time. Okay, so first let us first evaluate the first commutator bracket, ypz comma zpx. Here consider the Poisson bracket, this one, second, ypz comma xpz. So using the identities, those 6 identities has been used to boils down into this. You have to perform it your own. There are in between steps. I should tell you that you have to do the in between steps to understand how this will come. Just use the distributive and commutative laws. Okay, you will be reached at this point of time in very easily. So this will be, the result will be 0 because x and pz, the commutator bracket is 0. We have those results. The first 3 results are on x, y, and that is a generalized coordinate and generalized momentums under the Poisson bracket. The results are there. That is similar. The Poisson bracket of the coordinates are 0. Poisson bracket of the momentums are 0. That is y, x straightforward 0, pz straightforward 0. But what about ypz and what about xpz? Yes, they are different quantities. That is x is the generalized coordinate, and pz is not the canonical conjugate momentum of x. Pz is a canonical conjugate momentum of z. So this will be 0. Kronecker delta ij, they are different, so 0. A similar reason, this is also 0. So the each 4 brackets are 0. So the total result is 0. So yes. So this is as by similar reason, the another Poisson bracket, this one is also 0. But what about the first one? Ypz comma zpx will give you these 4 terms. See, the first term 0. This is 0. Okay. This is again 0. This is again 0. But this will contribute. Zpz is have some value. Pzz is equal to actual minus y, because zpz is equal to 1. I have proved at the very beginning of my lecture, that is delta ij. So delta ii is there, but there I have written qj comma pk. But here you can see the momentum is in the left hand side and the coordinate is in the right hand side. So by the property of commutator bracket, the sign will be reversed. So minus 1, not 1. Okay, minus 1 is there. So the result will be minus 1 into ypx. Similarly, this bracket will boils down to plus xpy. So the 4 brackets are deduced here. This contributes and this contributes, but these two gave you 0 0 results. Okay, these two are 0. So these 2 brackets will contribute, and the results here it is minus ypx, and here xpy plus xpy is there. So xpy minus ypx is the result of the commutator, the Poisson bracket of Lx and Ly, and this is nothing but Lz component. So Lx Ly Poisson bracket will give you Lz Poisson bracket. Okay, similarly you can prove Ly Lz is equal to Lx and Lz Lx is equal to Ly. this is again, you can see in future, this is again the building block of the angular momentum commutation relation of quantum mechanics. So you can directly write from here. Just remember this thing of the results of classical mechanics, and you can use it in quantum mechanics. Okay, and this formula, this problem has been discussed in our previous class. So at this point, let me thank you for listening.